Hello again and welcome back to London. It's time to talk currencies and I've been to Alpari to speak with Craig Erlam. Let's start by talking about the US dollar. We've seen the dollar index hit a 5.5-week high over the last day or so. At the same time, we've seen equity markets in the US really run away. Is there a danger that the dollar's getting overbought on the back of this positive sentiment?
Well, I'm not so sure. I mean, like you say, the dollar index is at that 5.5 week high. But then if you actually take a look at the individual currency pairs, if you take a look at euro dollar, I think that's looking quite bearish at the moment. The same goes with cable. And also dollar yen, we've seen it break with that massive 100 level. And it's currently, I think it's around 101.70. And I think that's going to go higher as well. We may see a brief pullback in some of these pairs. But I think I'm pretty bullish for dollar over the course of this summer. So I think we've still got a long way to go yet.
When we've talked before, we've always talked about fundamentals of the US, of the Eurozone, of various countries. But is there a possibility that the story with equities is going to play in with the US dollar? Because we've seen the S&P and various US indices hit all-time highs. When those indices start to pull back, will we see the dollar affected?
We could do. I think with the indices at the moment, I think they're just getting pushed higher as long as we can. But we are hitting that summer period when we do tend to see a bit of more of a sell-off in the equity markets. But then on top of that, we've also got the fact that there's a lot more talk now about the Fed's QE3. So I think this is going to be the major driver now over the next 3 or 4 months. Is going to be, do the Fed continue with this QE? Do they start tapering it? And I think this is going to have a major impact. So obviously, if we see the Fed start to taper back on this QE3 program, then we will see further surges in the dollar, and then we will see equities actually pull back. So you will see that divergence like we have seen over the past 12 months or so.
Yeah, the euro dollar is obviously an important pair, but it's not exactly trading in a very excited manner. It's stuck in that range 130 sometimes to 132. What are traders waiting for it to break out of that band?
Well, it could be a number of things. One, like I say, the Eurozone, it's not necessarily been the most interesting of crises recently. Obviously, over the last 12 months, we've become used to almost a new story every month, whether it's the Italian election, the Cypriot bailout, or there's talk a lot recently that we could see more of a Slovenian bailout. So I think the fact that there's been a little bit quieter here over the last few weeks could be affecting whether that euro weakness. I still think there's a lot more euro weakness to come, but the fact that we've had a lack of negativity in the Eurozone has led to this kind of dry patch. I think once we start to see this weaker data continue in the Eurozone, then we could see further euro selling, but also the fact that there's still a lot of uncertainty about, like say, the Fed's QE3 program, which means that we're not seeing too much movement necessarily in the dollar either. So the fact that we've got uncertainty and a lack of negativity in the Eurozone, I think that's why we're seeing this stuck in this range between, like you say, 130 and 132, but I don't expect this to last forever. I do think we're going to start to see some Fed tapering over the next 6 months, and I do think this negativity in the Eurozone is going to come back either through a Slovenian bailout or the fact that people are just going to continue to see this poor data and stop believing Mario Draghi's comments that we're going to see the Eurozone start to return to growth towards the end of this year, which I think is incredibly optimistic.
Yeah, but let's move on to the yen. Earlier you mentioned that dollar yen's broken past that magical 100 mark, but again the yen weakening story has lost a bit of momentum. Do you expect the dollar yen to trade just above that 100 level, or do you expect it to weaken further?
I do expect this weekend further, but not necessarily right now. You've reached another big real resistance level between 101.50 and 102. So I think from here we might see it pull back even and retest that 100 level as a new area of support. We could even see something similar to what we're seeing now in the euro dollar charts with a little bit of range trading. I do see further weakness though in the yen over the next, say, 6 to 12 months, but it's not going to be anywhere near as aggressive as, say, that 700 pip move which we saw over the course of a week shortly after the Bank of Japan announced that the quantitative and qualitative easing. I don't think we'll see that kind of move again, but I do think we are going to see another move maybe towards 105 to 110 over the next 6 months or so.
Yes, so just to finish off, where is the volatility, where are the profit opportunities for traders at the moment?
Well, I think when you look at the equity markets, for example, everyone's talking about you don't go against the trend for one, so everyone's just looking for those dips. You buy on the dips, and that seems to be where the profits are being made at the moment in the equity markets. When you look at the currency markets, it's, again, like you say, it's just about knowing what trend you're in. So at the moment, like you say, we're in a sideways trend with the euro dollar. So it's obviously anyone who's been, say, selling at 132, buying at 130 recently has done okay out of it. And it's hard to argue with the trend. You've just got to really essentially go with it. With the dollar yen, I think, like I said, I think we are going to see it pull back to that 100 level. I think at that point, I don't see it breaking back below it. I think it took it took a major move to break above that 100 level, and the fact that I think most analysts are in agreement that we're going to see further weakness down the line. I think once we do see that pullback to that 100 level, I do think we are going to see a some major support here, and I think we're going to see a sharp move higher from that point.
Craig Erlam from Alpari, excellent as always. Stay tuned to Dukascopy TV for more interviews, but for now, goodbye.